afternoon, Courtney.
Hi.
My name is Sarah Grant, and I'll be speaking with you today. I'm your crisis intervention counselor. I just want to let you know that this is a judgment-free zone. You know, I'm just here to help you in whatever you're going through, and that I am a mandated reporter. So whatever happens today stays between me and you, unless you disclose you want to harm yourself or somebody else. Then I'm obligated to report that. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why don't you tell me about what's going on?
So when I was 20, I had just gotten out of a relationship and I didn't want to date anyone for a while, but then I met this guy. He seemed nice. Some friends of mine had known him. He had a good job and stuff, and so I was like, maybe get out of my comfort, go on a date, maybe get my mind off of everything, and she raped me. It's kind of hard to say, but do you want me to tell you the whole?
Yeah, I want all the details, please, if you're comfortable with disclosing that information.
It's been a little while,
Okay.
so I'm getting a little bit better with it, and hopefully this can help me. That's why I'm here. But so we set up a date and time, and he was like, I'm kind of old-fashioned. I want to meet your family, meet your parents, talk to them. So maybe spend like an hour at your house before we go and stuff, which was kind of a little bit odd to me.
He said an hour?
To meet someone's parents for the first time, because it wasn't even like we were really dating. Normally I wouldn't even introduce someone to my parents. I mean, I was 20, which was young. I wasn't old enough to drink, but it was still, I was old enough to not be trying to introduce my parents to just everybody.
Right.
And I wasn't young to where they needed to meet the guy before we went on a date, but so he came over, he kissed my mom, shook my dad's hand. They had a conversation about, my dad's job and work hours and commutes, because we were in the country, but he worked in the city, so he had a longer commute. I mean, just casual stuff, but things that kind of stick out to me now.
Right.
That were a little bit odd.
Like red flags, as you're rethinking it.
Yeah, exactly. But so we left, and that's when it really got bad, because we went to a bar, and I told him I was only 20. I wasn't old enough to drink. He knew that.
Right.
But when we got to the bar, I guess the bartender was his friend or something, because he didn't card me or nothing. He just gave me a drink. And that's when I guess it really all happened, because I took a couple of drinks of the drink, and then I just didn't feel right. I wasn't a big drinker, but I knew that something wasn't right just after a couple of drinks. So I was kind of felt a little dizzy and nauseous, so I tried to go to the bathroom. I actually fell off of the bar stool, but I managed to get to the bathroom, and I got a little sick. I ended up walking back to Tom, and I was like, I don't feel right, something's wrong, can you take me home?
Right.
And he just kind of blew me off. He got another drink. There was another drink waiting on me when I got back, and I was like, I told him that I really didn't want to keep staying. He just kept blowing me off, and finally he paid the bill, and we were leaving, and I thought he was taking me home, but I kind of heard him in the car talking about something on the phone about, yeah, she's with me, and he said something about, yeah, we'll come over. And so that's when I started realizing that he wasn't taking me home. But about this time, I think I kind of blacked out just from the car or something. Whenever I kind of came to, we were at some go-go bar, and I didn't want to go. I was like, all right, maybe just go in, and then he'll take me home after this. And while we were there, I still felt not like me, and my brain was kind of foggy and hazy, and I was like, I really just want to go home. But I remember him no, enjoy the dancers and stuff. He was trying to push me and make me watch the dancers, which really wasn't my thing. But
right.
Then finally, we go to leave, and I hear him talking to one of his friends about, yeah, I'll have her in the bed in the next 5 minutes. And I was like, oh no, that's not happening. But I don't know what, I feel like something was in that drink, because I didn't have any strength or anything about me. I don't remember getting into his car or nothing. The only thing I remember is something hitting my head, And I kind of realized that he was carrying me up the stairs. It was like his door hit me. And I guess it was his house or something. There was a guy, his roommate, that was there. And I just know I went to the bathroom and I got sick again. And kind of put some water on my face. But then whenever I came out, there was only one light on in the house. So I went into that room figuring that I could get him to take me home finally. And like when I got in there, I just fell out on the bed. And the next thing I remember is waking up to literally one hand being handcuffed and one hand being free, and him trying to get my pants and underwear off of me, and he raped me. And then he just pulled over like it was nothing and went to sleep. And the next morning he threw his clothes at me like I was nothing. Acted like it was no big deal. He even made a stupid comment about wishing he could do that every night to keep me there as like a chained up prisoner.
Oh gosh.
And I got dressed and he took me home. Said he was still wanted me to be his girlfriend and wanted to take me clothes shopping. But as soon as we got to my house, I just ran upstairs and changed out of my clothes, and that's just how I've been since. And that's what keeps playing in my brain. Like every time I meet someone, and you wonder if someone's capable of doing that. And I want to stop that with my brain.
Right.
I want to stop feeling like I can't trust people. I want to stop feeling like when I see two people out somewhere, is he going to do something like that to her?
Well, those feelings that you just explained to me are very normal for someone who has been through a tragic situation like that. You know, I want you to understand that it was not your fault. There was nothing you could have done to prevent it. You didn't know it was going to happen. It's just he took advantage of the situation. Have you told anyone about what happened to you? Like any of your friends, your family members, your parents?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't really told anyone the full details. My parents kind of asked, like, what happened to him because he seemed like a nice guy.
Right.
And almost was like, I messed something up. Why couldn't I have made that work? You know, was the good job, you know. A lot of the guys from before my last relationship, like, they didn't even care, like, to meet my parents. And, I mean, even my last boyfriend, they didn't really get along, my family and him. But, so it
He made a good first impression. He played the game. He knew exactly what he was doing.
so it was like, what did I do wrong?
Right.
My family, you know, kind of judged, so I wasn't going to tell them that. I couldn't tell them the truth of everything, especially, you know, I was underage and drinking.
Yeah, I can understand those rational thoughts that you was, you know, the reason for why you haven't told anyone. But I'm glad you're here today because you need to get those feelings out in order for you to move forward and get past how you're feeling now. Have you done anything to try to make yourself feel better? Like, have you done any, did you do anything for yourself to try to get your mind off of it?
I did go to a doctor, and
Okay.
I just told him that I've been having some dark thoughts, and I can't keep my mind from racing. I didn't want to tell him the details. But I talked to him about being depressed, and he put me on some medication. He put me on Prozac, but it didn't really feel like it helped. It almost made like the thoughts worse. So he actually took me off of that, and I tried therapy, but I can't feel like I can tell anyone. I'm afraid, even though it's, you know, kind of what they do, I never could feel comfortable enough to say it. And and honestly, my insurance isn't the greatest, so being able to pay for therapy on my own,
Right.
can't.
We have some programs actually that are free that can help you out if you're willing to, wanting to take those and maybe speak to somebody else that can help you free of charge. And we also have some support groups that I can link you to for other people who've been in your situation. And when you feel comfortable, open up and tell your story with them. You know, so you can have someone that can relate to what you've been through, so you won't feel like you're alone. Are you interested in maybe going through something like that?
Will I have to repeat the story to them, or?
If you feel comfortable, you don't have to, but there will be other people telling their stories. So if you ever feel comfortable, you are, of course you can tell your story, but you're not obligated. You don't have to speak. You can just sit there and listen. Just something to think about. I think that would probably help you if you were around other people that you can relate to, just so you can know it's not your fault. You're not alone in this.
I mean, I didn't feel like this was even real. Like, things you hear about the stories, but I didn't think it was actually happened to people.
Unfortunately, it happens a lot. It really does. You mentioned that you had dark thoughts. Can you elaborate more on that?
Feeling like it's my fault, feeling like, sometimes even like I kind of get a headache or get dizzy, it's a flashback to what happened that night. Just what could I have done, and hating myself for letting it happen.
Yeah.
Had I not drank, had I, just kept feeling like I wasn't ready to date and not be pushed into it. Feeling like maybe if I wasn't here anymore, it wouldn't hurt and I wouldn't have to think about it.
Are you still having those suicidal thoughts?
I don't really feel like suicide is something that I could do. More so, I just wish that maybe I could accidentally, or be one of those people who gets caught up in a crossfire or something, and feel like it would be easier if I didn't have to be in my brain anymore.
Well, those thoughts, they are normal for someone who has been through a crisis like that of being raped. I can't even imagine how you feel. We gotta get you out and talking to other people and getting your mind on other things that can better occupy your time, so you won't just keep reliving that situation. Unfortunately, we can't go back and change the past, but we can just move forward and just fill yourself with more positive surroundings. Is there anything that you would like to do, maybe like drawing or writing or any support group?
I used to play tennis. I used to like going to sporting events. I would like to find happiness again in the things, but I just feel real skittish, especially around alcohol and crowds. So
I'm sure, me too.
Going to that kind of stuff just kind of, it startles me. I definitely would be afraid to have any sort of drink around someone anymore. So as far as like going to the clubs, in my early 20s, that's what everybody was doing. That's where all my friends were wanting to go, and I couldn't. So I would like to be able to get to where I can go out with my friends again.
Yeah. Alright, well, this is what I want to do. I'm going to call you back for another appointment. We'll set you up with another appointment, and then next time we can maybe set out like goals for us, short-term and long-term goals, to get you kind of back to where you were before the accident. How's that feel? Does that sound okay? It's not going to be a quick fix, but something that we can work on to help bettering yourself. You still?
Yeah, definitely. I want to try to get my life back.
And I want to try to help you get your life back together. I'm really glad you came in to speak with me today. I really appreciate you coming in.